Dr. J here, and on this episode of Knox News, we're going to discuss the different types of nutrients that would be good in a all-inclusive nitric oxide supplement. That's been my background since 2005, and several years prior to that I had a naturopathic practice, and when I started getting into this whole nitric oxide world in 2005, we were seeing some really fantastic things happening in our practice, and the reports were excellent. So I want to talk about the things that I've learned over the years that are very important when you want to help your body to create nitric oxide. And primarily, the first thing I think of is L-arginine. And the one that I like the best is an arginine called arginine alpha-ketoglutarate. And what this is, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. It's 2 parts arginine to 1 part alpha-ketoglutarate. So what this does, this type of arginine, helps first of all with absorption and digestion. I find that people that use this type of arginine as opposed to an elemental or a hydrochloride arginine, they don't have the digestive upset. And some types of arginine, like the hydrochloride, even could cause some loss of minerals, which you don't want. You want your body to retain your minerals. So I like that arginine alpha-ketoglutarate. It also converts into glutamine, the alpha-ketoglutarate, which also helps for digestive disturbance. So virtually when people use it, I don't see any sort of digestive problems. Now, arginine is where the hundreds of thousands of research articles have been written on its ability to produce nitric oxide. So it's really unrivaled as a nutritional component to a nitric oxide supplement. I think that's where you need to start. Now, the other thing that are important are cofactors and things that work synergistically. So another amino acid that's very important is citrulline. And citrulline, what it does, it actually helps a recycling or a turbocharging of the arginine, and has a time release effect. So when you take the arginine and it's absorbed by the small intestine, it's converted into nitric oxide, where citrulline has to, over time, be converted into arginine and then into nitric oxide. So it converts at a later rate. And so those two things together really are excellent for sustaining and keeping good nitric oxide levels. In fact, when you use the right ratio, when you use close to a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 parts arginine to 1 part citrulline, then you get a maximum length result. So you get about a 12-hour result when you use those things in the right ratios. Nitric oxide only lasts about 4 or 5 seconds, so what you want is a way to recycle, continue to make and utilize nitric oxide, so you get the best result that way. The other thing that actually, as a whole food way to utilize the arginine pathway, is watermelon. Watermelon actually, the name watermelon in Latin is citrulline, and so it was actually named for that particular amino acid. So it's very high in citrulline, and so again, it's a whole food way to be able to stoke up the arginine pathway. So that's a foundational combination that I'd want to see in my nitric oxide product, is a combination of arginine of at least 2 grams at one time, citrulline at least 1 gram, and then watermelon, and then do it again some 12 hours later to keep that 12-hour boost up. So on the next segment of the Knox News, I'm going to talk about nitrates and nitric oxide.